You've been checking your phone again, haven't you? Not waiting for a specific message, just checking, as if the silence itself might suddenly explain why they disappeared. One day they were there, part of your routine, woven into the fabric of your thoughts, and then nothing. No goodbye, no explanation, just absence where presence used to live. This checking isn't weakness. It's your attachment system doing what attachment systems do. Your brain is wired to seek proximity when it senses distance, to reach for connection when connection feels threatened. Every time you look at that screen, you're not making a conscious choice to obsess. You're responding to millions of years of evolution that taught us that maintaining bonds is survival. The ghosting has left your attachment system in suspension, neither connected nor disconnected, and so it keeps searching for signals that aren't coming. Ghosting hurts in a way that's hard to articulate. It's not the sharp pain of rejection or the clear ache of a breakup. It's something quieter, more disorienting, like walking into a room you've entered 1,000 times only to find the furniture has vanished while you weren't looking. Your mind doesn't know what to do with unexplained absence. It wasn't built for stories without endings. So it keeps returning to the last conversation, the last moment, searching for clues that probably aren't there. You become an archaeologist of your own memories, excavating every interaction for signs you might have missed. Was there something in their tone, a pattern in their responses, a moment where everything shifted and you just didn't notice? This mental repetition, this pursuit that happens in your thoughts, isn't something you're choosing. When someone disappears without warning, your brain activates its seeking system. It's the same mechanism that would have kept our ancestors searching for a lost member of their tribe. The difference is you're searching through memories instead of forests, through text messages instead of territories. The ghosting triggers a biological response disguised as an emotional one. When someone disappears without explanation, you don't just lose them, you lose the future you were already imagining. All those unspoken plans, those assumed tomorrows, those conversations you thought you'd have. But it's more than that. You lose the micro-futures too, the small routines that were just beginning to form. Maybe it was a particular time they usually messaged, a show you were going to watch together, a place you mentioned visiting. These weren't grand plans, they were the quiet expectations that create the rhythm of connection. You weren't just attached to them, you were attached to who you were becoming with them. The silence becomes a canvas for projection. Without their voice to correct you, your mind paints 100 different explanations. Maybe they're hurt, maybe they're confused, maybe something happened that has nothing to do with you, or maybe it has everything to do with you. The ambiguity creates a strange kind of hope mixed with doubt, a waiting room where you're not sure if your name will ever be called. And here's the complicated truth about hope in these situations. Hope persists in ambiguity. As long as there's no definitive ending, possibility remains alive. Your mind knows this, so hope becomes both a comfort and a trap. It soothes the immediate pain, but prevents the emotional reorganization that needs to happen. Hope keeps you suspended, waiting for a resolution that may never come. It's not foolish or naive. It's your psyche's way of protecting you from a grief you're not ready to fully feel. This is what makes ghosting uniquely painful. It's not just loss, it's incomplete loss. Your attachment system, the part of you that forms bonds and maintains connections, doesn't have a clear signal to reorganize itself. The door isn't closed, it's not even open, it simply isn't there anymore. And you're left standing in the doorframe of a relationship that exists only in the past tense. You might find yourself creating stories to fill the void. Maybe they'll reach out eventually. Maybe they're going through something.
Maybe they lost your number, or maybe technology failed, or maybe the maybes multiply because your mind needs an ending, even if it has to write one itself. But here's what's important to understand. Even if they gave you an explanation, it might not give you what you're actually seeking. An explanation is external, it's factual, it tells you what happened. I wasn't ready, I met someone else, I lost interest. These are explanations. They answer the question of what occurred, but they don't necessarily answer what you really need to know. What does this mean for me? What did I mean to them? What was real and what wasn't? What you're really looking for isn't explanation, it's comprehension. Comprehension is internal. It's the integration of experience into understanding. It's making sense of not what they did, but what it awakened in you. Why it hurt this much, what exactly you lost, why your mind keeps returning to it. Comprehension doesn't depend on them coming back with answers. It depends on your ability to sit with ambiguity and slowly reorganize the story within yourself. The obsessive thinking, the checking, the wondering, these aren't signs that you're broken or that you cared too much. They're signs that your mind is trying to make sense of something fundamentally doesn't make sense. You're trying to solve a puzzle that's missing pieces, not because the pieces are hidden, but because they were never provided. What makes this particularly difficult is that you're grieving alone, without witness. There's no shared acknowledgement of what ended, no mutual recognition of what was lost. You're holding a funeral for a relationship while the other person has simply walked out of the cemetery. And perhaps that's the cruelest part of ghosting. It leaves you to do all the emotional labor of ending something you didn't choose to end, to find your own closure in someone else's silence, to somehow make peace with questions that will never be answered, to move from needing their explanation to finding your own comprehension. Your pain is real, your confusion is valid. The mental loops, the repeated checking, the inability to fully let go, these are all normal responses to an abnormal situation. You're not weak for still thinking about it. You're human, trying to close a door that someone else left swinging in the wind. Sometimes the most profound act of self-compassion is simply acknowledging that some stories don't get endings. Some connections dissolve without ceremony. Some people exit our lives as quietly as shadows leaving a room at dusk. The work isn't in getting the explanation you'll never receive. It's in building comprehension from the fragments you do have. Understanding not why they left, but why it matters to you that they did. The ache you feel is the ache of incompleteness. And maybe, just maybe, learning to hold that incompleteness gently, without forcing it into a shape it cannot take, is its own quiet form of resolution. Your attachment system will eventually recalibrate. The seeking will slow. The checking will decrease. Not because you got answers, but because you found a way to live with the questions. If these words found you at the right moment, if they helped name something you've been carrying in silence, there's a quiet space here where we explore these unspoken griefs together, where confusion finds clarity, where the things we can't say out loud finally find their voice. This isn't about moving on or getting over anything. It's about understanding what moves through us when connections remain unresolved. If that resonates with you, you're welcome to stay a while and subscribe to our channel.